it's set in the same area as my Pelican Harbor series, and there are some crossover characters. They're in Gulf Shores, Alabama. So I think readers have been loving that already. It's been out a few weeks. So, and it's a story of an attorney and his wife who are separated after the tragic loss of a daughter, and has lost himself in alcohol. And Savannah couldn't handle that, so she left, and she's working as a professor at a Tupelo Grove, Alabama university that her family founded. And he shows up asking for a second chance, and she says no way. But the next morning, she's accused of murdering she's suspected of murdering the president of the university. So she needs his, and even though she doesn't want to be around him. So there's lots of family secrets that come bubbling up out of the swamps of Alabama in this series. So readers are really loving it. So
well,
far.
And our listeners can certainly relate to the Gulf Shores area. Many, I would say, vacation in that area and familiar with it. Tupelo Grove is, what is it, a fictional suburb?
Fictional, but it's in that same area, and readers, I think, will like that crossover.
Well, one last question, and then we'll hand things over to Denise Hunter here. But what would you say would be the main theme or the main takeaway? Obviously, you write from a Christian worldview perspective. So what are you wanting to get across here?
Pretty much all of my books always have a theme of forgiveness running through them, and it's important to me that Christians realize that the damage they can do, not just to relationships, but to their own soul, by the lack of forgiveness. And so that theme always just pops up somehow in my books. It just, it runs through there. So Savannah's going to have to learn to forgive, and Hez has to learn to forgive. And, there's just a lot of past family secrets where people are seeking revenge that you see the ramifications of that.
Well, your most recent book is entitled Before We Were Us. So what's going on in this book?
So we do have a big city girl here. So she's from Boston, and she's had a rough upbringing. Her mother abandoned her, and she is wanting to make something of herself. And so she has taken it upon herself to go to college. She's gotten her degree. She wants to be an event planner for a big corporate event planning company in Boston. So it turns out that in order to get that job, she has to first become a temporary director at a rural resort in New Hampshire. So this is where the small town comes into play. We have a big city girl with her big dreams, and she's got to go to this rural place to get what she wants. She ends up having a contentious relationship with her new boss, which is the love interest. And over the summer, she ends up falling in love with him. They are just on the precipice of getting engaged when she takes a fall, and she forgets their entire summer together and falling in love with him. So all she remembers is their contentious relationship, and she realizes that she's given up her dream job for him, and she doesn't really want her memories back because she still wants that job, and she doesn't like the hero. So the story is about the hero trying to woo her back to him, and her not wanting so much that, she still wants the big city job, but she's got to work that out through her time there at the rural resort.
So where, as you look at the overall story and perhaps some of the principles behind it, what do you see as the integration of the Christian faith element into it?
Right. Well, she's got these issues from her childhood with the abandonment, and that's one thing the hero doesn't do. He doesn't abandon her, and that's what God doesn't do either. He doesn't abandon us, and he's always there, and the heroine needs to learn that God is always going to be there for her, and there's nothing that she can do that will chase him away. He's always going to be there for her.